so excited to start this video series for you today. This is just a video series that I came up with that I have been collecting ideas for months and months, and just something I really want to do. So this is the inspiration, or the quilt that I'm going to be taking inspiration from today. And I am using the last little bits of my Clique kit for February to create this layout. So this layout is all about quilts. I love to use quilt designs on my layouts. It can be a little time consuming, but the results are just fabulous. So I really wanted to share with you some quilt designs that you can use for your layouts. And I will post a photo of the image I just showed you on my Instagram and on Facebook. So you can go there to get them, to get the images if you'd like to play along. This series will be not scheduled, just for time constraints. The reason I didn't start it right away, I mean, I've had this graphic together and I've had all these ideas for a really long time, but I could never figure out when during my scrappy month I could really consistently do these videos. And so what I've decided to do is I'm just going to do them. When I have the time, when I have an idea, when I want to do one, I'm just going to do one, and I'm not going to worry about any kind of scheduling, because when I try to get it scheduled, it just doesn't work. So you see me here marking out my entire layout. So what this is I'm just counting, lots of counting. I'm going to take this image of a quilt. I am going to use all of the little blocks that are part of the quilt design. I'm going to pop 1-inch squares from all of these papers, and then I'm just going to follow that quilt design as a pattern. I do end up having to alter it just a little bit to make it work a little bit better with my layout design. But you can see here that I'm just looking at each of these blocks on the quilt as a 1-inch square, and I'm counting them all. I'm going to count them all out. I'm going to make sure that I have enough 1-inch squares punched from my punch. And all of these papers are just scraps. This is a fabulous way to kill a kit at the end of the month. And that may be what I end up doing for this particular series. We'll see. So I have all of these squares punched, and I went ahead and used vintage photo distress ink on all of them, simply because the crepe papers from Good Vibes have kind of a more of a creamy background, or more of a creamy texture look to them, but the Pretty Little Studio 8x8 papers that came in the Traveler's Notebook kit are bright white. So by adding that vintage photo, it allows those two papers to kind of play nice together, I guess. So I'm starting with this middle row, and I'm just following the quilt pattern right there, and all I'm doing is making sure that none of my patterns repeat too close to each other. So I have lots of patterns, lots of squares, and I just want to make sure that I don't put two of the same patterns next to each other. And so now that I have that center of the heart blocked out and put in, the rest of this goes really easily. I am looking at this heart as just lines. So I'm just counting each of the lines, not looking at the big picture, just taking it in small blocks. I do end up eliminating right here one of the lines, only because apparently, no matter what you do, these aren't going to be perfect. When you take a quilt pattern and you transfer the pattern to paper, you're going to have to make a little bit of adjustment, really, no matter what. And for this one, the heart was just a little bit too big to fit nicely into a 12 by 12 pattern. So here you can see me kind of counting and kind of deciding, I know right away I need to eliminate something, because when I start to really follow it, I'm going off my page, which I don't want to do. So I do end up just eliminating one of the rows. And so this is going to be half of my heart, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing, gluing and cutting all of the squares for the other side, and I do end up with a few extra squares, I think, at the end, but that is because I eliminated an entire row. And I still think this looks like a heart. I was very careful about what row I eliminated and how I eliminated it so that I really did still preserve that shape of a heart at the end. So I would really, really, really love it if you want to play along with me. The way I have these quilt projects organized, they're going to get more difficult as the series goes on. And since I'm not doing them weekly or, anything like that, so you can totally play along with these anytime. I would love for you to do that. I'd love for you to tag me, and I'd love to see all of your pretty layouts that you can create using these quilt patterns. So this little piece, I got this from the Clique kit shop. I've never seen anything like this before, and it is the coolest embellishment. So it's a weaving, and it's not any thicker. It's actually thinner than a flare. Like, it's not even as bulky as a flare. So it's gorgeous for scrapbook layouts, and I love them so much. I've never seen any embellishment like this. It provides so much texture and such a cool idea. And you can find these in the Clique Kit store. And it's such a cool embellishment, like so different and unique. And so I decided I really wanted to use it on this page. I thought that it worked well with my subject matter, and it just provided that one little unexpected embellishment up at the top. So what I'm doing right now is I'm deciding on where I want my embellishments to be, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm deciding where I want my photo to be and where I want my embellishments to be, and just kind of planning it all out in my head. And so the reason I'm doing this is I want to do some stitching around this whole heart. And so by deciding on where I want all of my embellishments to be, I can maybe not stitch where I don't need to stitch. So a thought on photos: when you're choosing a photo to go with a quilting layout like this one, I really recommend a black and white, or in this case I'm using this sepia photo. And there are my stitches. So I picked 4 different embroidery flosses from my collection, and I'm just going to hand stitch all the way around my heart, except for the part there where my photo is going to cover up that little corner. And so you can see the stitching now, and you can see how gorgeous that texture is. It just provides that last little bit to my layout to make the, to give you that really, that quilt feel. So I went to back my photo. This is a great way to make sure that your photo still stands out, even though that background is very busy. You've put a lot of time and effort into it. You don't want to cover it all up, but you want your photo to be the star of the show still, right? So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to back my photo with this black and white print. So what I decided to do is to back my photo with some fun foam. I like the fun foam that you can get at Amazon from Doris. It comes in really big sheets, and they last a really long time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to back my photo with the foam, and I'm just going to attach it all down with some Scotch, quick dry adhesive, and just to give that photo a raised appearance, which will also help in making sure that the photo is the star of my layout. This particular photo does not need any journaling. It's just my little boy and our Goldie. It's so funny, but most of the time if I take a picture of one of my boys, there is a dog in the photo, because my kids they adore our dogs. So usually if I have a photo, there's a dog in it. So this is, I'm just using my Scotch Quick Dry, or not the Scotch Quick Dry, my Tombow glue runner. And I'm going to put all of those embellishments right back where I had initially decided they would go. This particular photo does not need any journaling. I'm just going to date it, but I have a couple coming up that will include journaling. So if you are a journaler and you want to do a quilt layout, but you aren't sure where to put the journaling or how to make it stand out, I will have a video later on that will have that element to it. And if you are an 8.5 by 11 scrapbooker or Traveler's Notebook scrapbooker, I'm also going to do a video using a quilt design with both of those types of layouts as well. So you can look for all of those. But like I said, I'm not going to put them on any kind of schedule. I just, I'm going to do them as I find the time to do so. This weaving went down fairly easily with just some glue dots. I used glue dots as opposed to a wet glue or anything like that because of the fact that it is a fabric or string. And then I decided to put this yellow enamel dot and kind of hang that weaving to make it look like it was kind of hanging down from the page. And I really, really like that effect. I like how it looks. I cannot tell you how much I love this weaving. I love unique texture, different things on my layouts. And this is a fabulous, fabulous choice. And it worked so well. So I'm just adding my date. And I decided to kind of go stamp and kind of do it a couple places just for that extra kind of typography on the layout. And that's going to complete this. Thank you so, so much for joining me today. I hope you love this series. I hope that you enjoy it as much as I hope I enjoy creating these fabulous videos for you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!